How's it going, everyone, and welcome to Lemon Steers, where we talk anything and everything entertainment. I'm, of course, Lemon himself, Zeke Lamone, and this is my review for the penultimate episode of Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew. But before we get into that, let's get the house clean out of the way, shall we? To leave a like, comment below, let me know your thoughts on Star Wars: The Skeleton Crew, and of course, hit that subscribe button as it helps me grow into my YouTube career. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, all that out of the way, let's get into the review. And guys, I finally wore a Star Wars shirt for this review series. I don't know if I've worn it in like maybe the earlier episodes, maybe episode 1 and 2 reviews. I did wear it, but I do know like from 4 on, every time I got done recording and, I was getting ready, to finish it up and, send it out into the world to y'all, I would go, crap, I forgot to wear a Star Wars shirt again. I'll remember to do it next week. And then the next week would happen. Of course I didn't. But I made sure to do it this time. So I did one thing right. And speaking of things being done right, I really don't know what happened to this show that, we've been talking like episode 4 and 5 where we were like, yeah, 3 was good. And then we got to 4 and we were like, on the surface, the episode as a whole is good. Just the overall structure is a little weird. It's 5, same thing happened. It even stuck out a little bit more. Episode 6, again, still some structure issues, but best episode ever. Oh, Bryce Dallas Howard, absolutely. This episode is Lee Chung. I do believe he was the director of this episode, and this one almost topped episode 6 for best episode overall within this series. I really don't know if Lucasfilm and Disney overheard all of us talking shit or whatever, but man, this was another phenomenal episode. Got really lost up in it. Just like, again, because The Rock was going to be on NXT tonight, I had wrestling on in the living room, and I went in my room to watch Skeleton Crew, and, have both audios going on. And this episode, again, won it. Even though I was waiting on The Rock, if The Rock maybe would have came out, maybe, probably would have been a different story. But never once did I go in to check on NXT. And y'all know how I am about my wrestling. And this episode was just really out of this world to me. I mean, just from the tempo, the pacing of it, the structure of it overall. Again, it's my same complaints that I've had. I'm going to keep burning it into the ground until this show is probably over. The one Achilles heel that this has had, and it's just becoming more and more apparent that the directors did not talk with each other before they did their episode. And I think overall when they were writing the show, oh crap, what's his name? He directed the Spider-Man movies. John Watts and his partner in this show, I cannot remember his name. When they were writing every episode, it doesn't really look like they were looking back on other episodes for character motives, because there just is a lot of whiplash when it comes to these episodes. Again, if you watch every episode by itself on its own merits, every episode is very good. I have said episode way too many times, but every single sequence in this show has been very, very good by itself. If I was to just put on episode 4, it would be fine. If I was to just put on episode 1, it would be good. If I was to just put on episode 7, it would be good. But when you're watching it as a whole and you're going, if someone was to binge this, which this was definitely not the structure of it, I just feel like they would have a lot of whiplash when it comes to the character developments in it. Let's talk about Wim at the very beginning. He was the one who really wanted to go on the adventure. He was the most excited about it. He was like, come on, guys, this is going to be really fun and all that. Then he has that character moment, which to me does come from out of nowhere a little bit. I would look at like the little bit more subtlety of him realizing, hey, this wasn't what I cut out to be. I kind of miss my family. And he has that moment with Jude Law going, look, I miss my dad. I just want to be at home. I want to be with my dad. This adventure wasn't what I was supposed to be. We almost die all the time. It's just not it. And, Jude Law has, horrible advice for him. And then we move on, right? So then we get to this episode. And, everyone's excited. They're on the road home. They're going to be home within minutes. They're in hyperspace. Everyone's cheering besides Wim, because now he is sad that the adventure is about to end. And, by all means, yeah, sure, a little bit of sadness that you finally got to do what you always wanted to do. But you have this moment that you were like, I miss my dad. I just want to be home. Then all of a sudden, now you're like, well, no, everything's just going to go back to normal. Got to take the assessment, blah, blah, blah. And I think, it's about this like part of this core, lesson, if anything, about not wanting to grow up, wanting to stay that kid forever, not wanting to go to the next steps of, adulthood and, again, just growing up in general. I can probably see that being a theme that they're trying to implement within this. They just haven't gone to it that much for me to completely buy into it, to the point where, again, it feels like whiplash. And then on the other side, we have Jude Law, and he's with his pirate crew. He's about to die like multiple times. They see like, oh, son of a gas, you lied again. We're gonna send him out into space. And he's like, no, it's a trick. Adam's been hidden for years. You really think it's just gonna be out in the open? Let's do this, let's send that. Oh, the ship is the key, blah, blah, blah. Kids come out, they put the wolf in. He's a pretty cool character for the most part. Jude Law shoots him, which solidifies that he's gonna stay a heel, he's gonna stay a bad guy, and he's not going to turn face to save the kids. I've been, really poo-pooing on the show. I've been saying, look, he's going to do some bad things. And then at the end, he's going to realize the error of his ways. And then he is going to save the kids and save the day and maybe sacrifice himself in doing so. So tell us all this time, right? And by all means, they could probably still do that by the time we get to the finale. I would have a much harder time believing it. I think now you just keep him as the bad guy. Now these kids just have to overcome him. For the most part, it's a really good dynamic, and they've done good within that structure. Except, again, on a previous episode, he saved the kids. If he never really cared about them at all, which is this episode here, that did not happen in this episode, but in a past episode, that gives me word that we still may do this, and it's going to devalue a lot in episode 7. I'm going to put my faith in John Watson team for me to be like, okay, yeah, what y'all did there, stuck the landing, I buy everything. But in episode 4, I believe, when they're on the other planet that's not Adam, but, very much a replica of it. And, he has the opportunity to just leave. He can finally get out. And, maybe there's the catalyst that, he needs Smee to ride the ship in order to get to it, so therefore he needs Fern. Then okay, just keep Fern alive. Just be like, okay, I'll take Fern. But he was really like, yeah, no, I need the 4. I need the 4 kids. Come on. So it's just one of those, with that one moment there, I'm just like, if you really never care for these kids, and you tell them like how annoying they are and all of that, blah, blah, blah. I don't know why you saved them to begin with, because again, you had it. You had it all to yourself. Especially, hey, they gotta stay there. I'm the captain now. Again, I don't know why you didn't challenge her from the beginning, and so on and so forth. It's just one of those things that, again, with the whiplash and with the overall structure of the show, that the choices within this, if it is to remain on this path, are just a little head scratching to me personally. Now, the main problem I have that is actually within this episode. All my other problems are within the whole structure of the show as a whole, for the most part. The only problem I have within this episode in particular, and just this episode, is that I feel like it just went a little too long. If this episode ends where I think it should have ended, and it really looked like they were going to end it that way, and maybe they wanted to add more in the finale, and they had a strict time for the run for the finale, so they had to add this part in it. Because even in the final shot where all is lost, Jude Law has killed Smee, chopped his head off, and with the lightsaber, he's telling the kids how annoying they are and all that, and he's going, yep, you've lost now. They pan over, they're about to enter the planet, and the camera starts to zoom out, right? And usually that's the indicator on the TV show that, hey, we're wrapped up, it's about to go home. I've noticed it a lot lately with how much television I have covered, and last year is the most television I've ever watched, that when the episode's about to end, the camera zooms out because they are going home. We're going home. And I was like, oh yeah, this is a great moment to end. Just a lot of like, what are they gonna do? What is he gonna do when he lands? Because there's gonna be so much security. I just really felt like, okay, yeah, let's go home. Let's wrap this up. Cut to black. Credits start with that amazing music. Something we have not talked about enough on this. The music, the score has been absolutely spectacular on this show. And then we kept going. And I was just like, oh no, you may have overstayed your welcome a little bit. And I really do think with everything after we did, look, I liked everything in it. Lan, don't tell, don't make a single soul. I saw your parents on that intercom, so I know who to chop up first. And he shows them the lightsaber, lands in, plays it off that he's picking up a shipment, which I don't know why he doesn't just pretend to do that until hey, it's almost over, because they have plenty of gold and you can just come by every week and you just get that shipment instead of trying to get it all in one to try to get your other ship here, which is a really weird angle. And I'm really curious to see who the supervisor is. And the money is just raining on him. He's just loving it. Loved all that. Parents come. He puts out the lightsaber, and then that's when we really cut to black. To me, all of that should have been the cold open for the finale. You start with that. As soon as he rings up the lightsaber, and again, we're moved away from them. It's zoomed out. We're away from our characters, and then we cut to black. Skeleton crew comes up, and then we keep going after that. So with that, that's the only problem I have within the episode as a whole. It's just that I really do think we should just stayed on the ship. They're entering into the planet. He has the lightsaber. He's letting them know that he's like, okay, let me think. Y'all stop talking. And then, we zoom out, cut to black, roll credits, and then we go in, and then, he's starting to go, okay, y'all don't make a noise. If I even so hear your thought on how to betray me, I will cut your parents up. And then we just do what we did in this episode. But besides that, again, I really do think this episode was awesome. I mean, a lot of times I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Oh my God, I can't believe he did that. Like when he killed the wolf, I was like, oh my God, he was such a cool character. I really wanted to see more of him. I liked his design. I liked how he taught. I liked the way he thought. In a lot of ways, like, no, you burned me too many times, dude. I'm the captain now. Let's just kill him and be over with it. Like, he doesn't want to give him any shots. I really liked everything that we were doing with him. Killing him off. Smee getting killed off unexpectedly. I like how did July even get snuck in? And everything, all that. All the spots we did, I really, really liked. Again, issues just overall is within the show. Structure as a whole. And again, just overstayed its welcome a little bit towards the end there. But let me know what you think about it down in the comment section. If you made it this far within the review, please leave a like. I would greatly appreciate that. And hit that subscribe button for the finale. We're also doing DC Creatures Commandos. We got Spider-Man, The Friendly Neighborhood. I am watching Squid Game right now. I'm not sure how the viewership will be afterwards. It just got to it too late. I am on episode 4, so I should be wrapping that up pretty soon. And I will get a review out of it because I do want to talk about it. I have thoughts on Squid Game. I am very surprised how good season 2 was. I really thought it wasn't going to be as good as season 1, but man, to me right now it's on the verge of being better than that. So subscribe to see that. Also, if you're into wrestling, we have a bunch of those things out. Going to be doing some topic episodes as well. I'm just giving my general thoughts on things here too. Going to try to be more active on this channel. So hit that subscribe button as I am trying to grow into it, and you will be seeing a lot more of me if you want to do that. But until next time, guys, I'll see you here at Lemon Studios.